exception to the rule, but is not, is applying to be vice president of the United States of America, the first in line to the most powerful position in the world. But he can't seem to get into a restaurant. So we're going to watch this clip real quick, because he's having a hard time on the trail, man.
Republican vice presidential candidate Senator J.D. Vance was escorted out of a restaurant recently while his supporters waited inside for him to address them. According to a report, the Ohio senator was initially stopped at the doors of the shop Saturday afternoon while attempting to make a campaign stop. Now, in a video, which is of course now going viral on social media, Vance, who was in Pittsburgh, was denied entry to the iconic Primanti Bros restaurant and bar where the Kamala Harris Tim Walz campaign recently hosted a gathering.
Unfortunately, he cannot come in. So what's going to happen is that they're going to take down our name, all our information, so the next time the kitchen crew's running out because everyone's canceling their orders.
It's a great local business. Let's keep on supporting it. And most importantly, November 5th or before, go vote. Let's go win this thing.
So, what happened is, Primanti Brothers, I guess, is in Pittsburgh, is a big stop. A lot of candidates have stopped there. It's one of those restaurants. Anyway, he shows up unannounced. The manager doesn't know what to do. There's all this press, Secret Service, all this shit going on. So they were basically, no, you can't come in. And it shut down the restaurant. Which, if you're a private restaurant, that's cost you a lot of money. So, this whole thing was kind of embarrassing, but they did finally sort of let him in and talk to people for a little bit, and then he left. But it was all a big humiliation because he couldn't get in initially, so he had to address everybody in the press in the parking lot. Because they wouldn't let him in because he was, he disrupted the business.
And because he didn't schedule it.
Right. Because he can't get it, he can't schedule something in advance because it's too much of a strain. Well, not too long later, just to show him up, here's Kamala Harris and Tim Walz going to the same restaurant. So they walked in, welcome is good news. No problem with the press. There we some clips of her just talking to people.
Yep, you're right.
Thank you very much. Bring it home.
Absolutely.
So they did that basically to show up J.D. Vance. J.D. Vance couldn't get in. We could. Who are you going to vote for? We can book a reservation. J.D. Vance can't.
Please lead my country. You can't book a reservation.
It just shows you how effed up their campaign is. They can't get anything right. He can't book a reservation. He doesn't have a staff. Nobody can call ahead and say, hey, we're going to stop by tomorrow.
So, the funny thing is I don't actually really expect Trump or Vance to necessarily think of those details. But I do expect them to have their aces in their places enough to have people managing their campaign and managing their stops
right,
that are aware that they need to do those things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's more that. It's not that I think that either one of them are idiots. I think they're idiots, but
right.
Not because of that. I don't think that they're idiots because they didn't book in advance. But I kind of think they're idiots because they keep having these people that are in charge of these things that are not capable of doing it. So what it makes me as a voter think is it makes me think if you continually don't have the appropriate staff to get these little tasks done, I'm not sure you're going to get the appropriate staff in place to get like these really important big tasks done.
Absolutely. Well, and this is what's so embarrassing about it is this is the second time this has happened to J.D. Vance because he had that whole fiasco at the donut shop.
Yeah. Well, and he didn't even freaking know where he was stopping either. Like
Yeah.
you don't have people briefing you. I don't expect you to know every donut shop that's cool in random cities in America, but like I really do expect you to have staff to brief you on this stuff.
Well, right. And I mean, it's one of those things where Tim Walz did it with the, whatever it was, I forget what it was, some special Nebraska dish. But he went to a restaurant that had that, but they expected him to show up. They knew he was coming. As opposed to JD Vance, I'm just going to walk into a donut shop, and what does the woman working behind the counter say? I don't want to be filmed. And he's like, oh, well, I'm JD Vance, I'm running for president or vice president. She's like, okay, I don't care.
Number one, you would expect or have the staff in place to make sure that these restaurants know that you're coming, because you want the thing to look good, so you want people to be like aware and look happy about your existence, right? Number two, before you go walking in, you should have somebody that's telling you what this place is, why it's iconic, why it's a staple of the community, what's really important that you should probably order. Does it have some cultural significance to the city or some demographic in the city? And is there some cool story that relates to whoever like started this place, owns this place? Hit me with that. Give me the 3-minute version of that.
Well,
right? Not walking in being like, where am I at? You know?
Right. Well,
that's not good.
And furthermore, you're going in there to talk to constituents. So you need to be seen doing that, right? That I can talk to constituents. I am one of you. I can mingle among the crowd. JD Vance can't do that. Trump can't do that. Kamala can do that. Tim Walz can definitely do it. I mean, Tim Walz is basically, you know.
Hey man, leave it to a teacher.
Yeah.
You know how many parent-teacher conferences that man probably sat through with people walking through the door that he didn't know from Adam, and he's like, "Gotta make the thing happen," you know?
Absolutely. I just think it's funny because it shows you just how incompetent that whole campaign is. They can't even get simple stops right. I mean, it's just embarrassing. You can't even get a simple stop right. Shocks me. Well, I wanted to move on to this.